Hello, everybody, and welcome to Style Esports. Today we are with, oh my goodness, I have the stream audio up. Okay. That's driving me crazy. Today
We
we
got,
are with
we got
Conquering
audio at the
Sands
start.
Gaming
Look,
versus Nefarious Esports. And I'm joined by the beautiful Thousand Eyes. Thousand Eyes, what can we expect out of the draft from these two teams?
we can expect our voices to work over it, unlike last time where I was a complete and utter moron and forgot to have the bot in the channel. But this time around, we are here. We are ready to go. Teams are getting underway in the draft. Looking through here as I am trying to get a little bit of info from these teams. Looking at a lot of Seraphine and Pike and Bard on the bot lane for Sable. Sable has a nice kind of rounded out champ pool of a lot of different things that can work out. And I think we're probably going to be seeing Volibear banned. I'm gonna. Oh, wait, no, that player is not playing. You guys have too many people on your teams. Cut it down.
Too many people on the teams. We see Yone and Yasuo, the brothers, getting banned out. That's a little bit of a surprise for me, at least. And Seraphine blue side banning, so that's a little interesting. I would have
Yeah.
expected that to be
So
a B1 prio pick.
here's the thing: nobody is playing Seraphine on Conquering Sands, so they just don't want to deal with it. They don't want to have to handle it. I kind of agree with that. If you're not going to be playing it, if there's no shot in hell you're playing it, get rid of it. The Yone Yasuo
Yeah.
bans, that's Chakov. Oh my God, you guys can't have that name. Come on now. That is Sean, actually. That I believe that is getting that banned away. We will see. Actually, oh, wait, are they in order? Because I'm seeing y'all. Okay. Jack plays a lot of Yone and Yasuo. It is basically the only champions that he's played in ranked. So absolutely want to take those away. As we do see the
Name.
Bard picked. I'm excited. And then the Ornn Volibear as well.
Yeah, and you said Volibear would have been a ban for one of these teams, so
Yeah.
we see that getting picked out. So we see that big beefy style of top side here for Nefarious Esports. That Ornn gonna provide a lot of engage. The Volibear with great follow up, great tower dive presence with the ultimate that shuts down the towers. So so far so good. We see the Trundle getting locked in. That's usually the go-to whenever you see Ornn. You just
Yep.
throw Subjugate at him, and then bada bing, bada boom, he's no longer a tank. Um, but we see Ezreal Bard. That's a lane that I really like. Ezreal can play super safe. Bard can just roam around the map and make plays. It's kind of functions the same as like a Ezreal Yuumi, but without the Yuumi.
That's
The Ezreal just has to play safe, and
I would say every
Gale.
Ezreal lane with a different support plays like an Ezreal Yuumi lane without the Yuumi.
I think yeah.
You know, I'm gonna throw you under the bus there. That's not really a good description, buddy.
It's a great description. Think about it. You gotta think about it. Go in depth. You know.
Okay, regardless, we do see the Trundle. Like you said, a great pick against the Ornn. I think it's also solid against the Volibear too. That if you're getting into a fight where that Volibear is ulting in, you can steal those extra stats that he's built up for himself over the next couple of minutes. Worth mentioning too, Bard was able to turn off towers before Volibear, so Bard is cooler. Bard can kind of turn off everything and whatever he wants as long as he aims it well. So there is kind of a okay, you turned off our tower, we can ult ourselves and just stall that out and wait for our tower to come back online. There are options there with the Bard. And obviously, Ezreal is usually one of the go-to AD carries with him because you can just run away, you can stay safe, you don't really have to worry about your AD carry dying in these lanes. Although with a Jhin, there is some slight opportunities. Not if you're going for the Renata, though. If it's the Renata, you're probably going to be pretty safe in that lane.
Yeah, you're just looking to farm and scale up. Renata's one of those champs though that can be kind of sneaky when it comes to engage potential. Her Q that she's able to get a root and then throw somebody into another person, get a stun as well. It actually is a decent amount of engage along with her ulti, and since Yasuo and Yone are both banned out, not a lot
Mhm.
of counters to that Renata ulti that we're gonna see here.
Well,
We see the Veigar and the Riven potentially.
I think that might actually be the ribbon. That is one that we do see picked up by Jack once. So there is the Yone, the Yasuo, then it's Kale with. I'm not gonna read out the numbers, but they're not good for the KDA. But Riven is one that has some pretty solid stats, even if it is a small amount of games. So I'm assuming that it's going to be going to Jack, and that is hopefully going to be going pretty well. It's a okay matchup into Ornn. You do struggle pretty quickly once Ornn starts getting some items. Vigar, on the other hand, though, going to be able to scale up. Cassidin, though, absolutely a nice matchup for Cassidin. He doesn't care
Yeah,
about it. I'm kind of curious now to see if there might be some lane swap shenanigans. Because I feel like you take that rivet against Cassidin early, you don't do a damn thing in that lane. You are just absolutely boned from start to finish.
yeah, and there's really no pressure from Ornn to really punish that Veigar in the top lane
Exactly.
either. So he can just kind of scale for free. I would like to see that. I doubt we will, but I would like to see it. I'm not sure what the rules are in this league for lane swapping.
I
Um,
don't think there's anything that's really stopping it. I would rather them get in position beforehand because we run the stream through a bot. I can't update the lane positions on the stream. So if they do swap lanes, I can't make that look correct.
yeah. Well, we'll have to just deal with it. But you know, going back to this kind of Riven Ornn matchup, if that should be what we're seeing here, um, Riven being that best, basically the best early lane top laner in the game. Volibear is close as well to being a very good early game champion up there in the top lane, but Riven is kind of the dominant, like, okay, I'm gonna play you. If you pick a scaling champion, I'm just going to kill you over and over again. You have a Trundle. I don't foresee the Trundle actually pathing towards top lane. I think top lane is going to be an island this game. Uh, and just hope and pray that Ornn is able to play safe. I want to see this Trundle try and play around mid a lot. Try and shut down this Kassadin, because that is such a free matchup for Kassadin. Like, it is unplayable for Veigar in the mid lane. So
Yeah.
he's gonna need some help for sure. And Trundle can definitely provide that pre-6.
Yeah, Trundle, great at the early ganks. I'm going to be watching here to see one of the kind of things that I've coined for myself is paying the troll toll when you are going up against a Trundle. He is not really great at farming up camps. If he tries to full clear alongside the Volibear, he's going to fall behind pretty
Mm-hmm.
quickly. But what he likes to do, and what almost every Trundle will do, is take 3 camps, the 2 buffs and a Gromp, and try and gank a lane or take Scuttle. So if you are not warding, if you are not playing safe, if you are not having your jungle match that and be prepared for a counter gank, you are not paying the troll toll. You are going to pay the troll toll with your life, and you're going to give 300 gold over to Trundle.
Yeah, definitely. And Trundle is one of those champions that is is not known to scale, but when you have very good tanks on the enemy team, uh, when he hits a subjugate on them, it's really, really, really good stats for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very, very hard to kill. He pumps out a ton of damage, and it's one of those champs that can really take over a game if you let him.
It really absolutely is. He has such a strong early to mid game power spike, and a lot of that top side of the map just has that advantage right now. If your mother is going to be playing against anything, I would love to see him focus on that top side, get that Riven going, get that Trundle Riven 2v2 against Ornn Volibear. That is absolutely something that Riven and Trundle want to deal with
Yep,
compared to the rest of this map here. Vigar is going to need help, but it's not really a lane you're going to be able to get much out of, especially post 6.
for sure, for sure. But we will see how these lanes play out. We're going to cut to a short spectator delay, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game 1 of this series.
One.
Welcome back, everybody, to game 1 of this series between Conquering Sands Gaming and Nefarious Esports. I am Sue, joined by Thousand Eyes. Thousand Eyes, we talked about this a little bit in draft. Where do you expect these junglers to go first?
I'm really hoping that we're going to be seeing the Trundle starting on the bot side, moving up to that top, seeing if you could get either a top lane or a mid lane gank off. I don't know how much there really is to be gained off of an early gank bot. Ezreal does not do much until he gets at least Sheen. So I'm a little wary. Now, granted, Renata and Jin are both very vulnerable targets. Pillar will do a lot. It'll help out for Bard to be able to hit those Qs. I'm hoping that if they go for that works out. But I feel like the better opportunity is get this Riven going, get this Kassadin in the ground. If you achieve one of those two options, you're going to be looking at a pretty solid mid game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the main things that you touched on here is shutting down that Kassadin. I think if you can set Kassadin far enough behind where his ultis aren't just completely one-shotting everybody on your team, um, you're in a pretty good position, especially sitting as Veigar in an unfavorable matchup where he can just ult over your cage. It's just a very, very hard matchup to play as the game progresses. So if you can set him behind early, it really helps your Veigar try and scale.
Absolutely. We do see junglers starting on that bot side there as Volibear going for the full clear. Trundle running over to the Wolves right now. Lots of trading going on in the top lane. This could be a setup for a nice gank if Trundle runs up there shortly. I'm assuming that this is going to be a full clear on that top side rather than going for that just 3 camp and gank, as we do that can work out generally if you're looking for a little bit of an off-timed gank. Obviously a lot of people know the Trundle strat of he's just going to take 3 camps and gank, but if you want to mess with the timer on that, you can go for an extra camp and kind of see if you can get things going. Riven trading really well here, but so is Ornn.
Ooh, Ornn putting out some big damage up there in the top lane to Jack, and now Jack in a bit of a weird position, and we just missed what happened, but something happened up there that got
Yeah,
Ornn
well,
that
gank's
blew up.
about to happen.
Now we see Volley moving up towards the top side as we're still watching down here in the bot lane.
Oh,
And now, okay, now we're looking at the top side. Okay.
Jack getting out.
Directed cam doing great wonders for us today.
No spectator like directed camera spectator.
Yeah, that's very true. Now we see your mother going on to Curse Wolf. Curse Wolf trying to get the shield down, gonna get it down for himself. Now he's gonna stun up your
Ornn
mother. Your
TP
mother
back.
trying to put out some damage. Harvest TP
Good
back in
flash.
and now has the back advantage on Riven should they continue, but they do not. And now, yeah. So Parvis down flash, down TP. Jack has the TP advantage. Now it doesn't have the TP advantage.
Yeah.
Just used it to get back to top lane. So a lot of summoners burned in that top side. We had both flashes from both junglers. We had both flashes from both top laners. So now a very vulnerable top side of the map for both teams.
Absolutely. Both TPs down. This is kind of one of those scenarios where if Jack did have the ignite instead of the TP, he would have gotten that kill on the Ornn earlier. Unfortunately, that's kind of one of those scenarios you never know. Sion maybe in a little trouble. Top also in
Now
trouble.
Parvis gonna get engaged on here. Tries to get the unstoppable to stop the knockup, but is gonna fall here. No doubt about it. Jack going to pick up a kill for himself, the first blood.
Nice pickup on that top side. Exactly what we needed to see, but it's a little bit
Now
later
Curse
than you
Wolf trying to
want.
look on the
He's fine.
Uzi.
He's
I don't
barred.
think
He's
anything's
fine.
gonna
He's
happen.
barred.
He's barred.
Trust me. I am a bard main. I know when Bard is in trouble. It is not when he's near a wall. He yeah, will get away, but because that gank and that topside focus came a little bit later than we maybe would have wanted to expect, that does give the dragon pressure over to Cursed Wolf, who's going to start this one up, and I don't think there's going to be any ability to really contest this in a realistic sense.
Yeah, I don't foresee them trying to contest. It just reset, which is funny. But now Jack going for some heavy trades up here in the top lane. Parvis, falling a bit behind as far as the damage output
These
is
extended
concerned.
trades are great for Riven.
Now Riven trying to finish him off here is going to get the kill as well. I think Parvis, you gotta play a little bit safer up there in the top lane. That's a that's a rough one.
Yeah, in these kinds of matchups, it's really more about Ornn playing around his cooldowns. You got to play it almost like a burst mage, where you kind of have your cooldowns, you get the knock up, you get the W down and get that damage, and then you back away while you wait for your cooldowns to come back up. Riven, on the other hand, has the Conqueror, has the passive while after using those abilities for the auto attack, she's doing a lot more consistent damage over
Hmm.
that fight, and Riven will win that 10 times out of 10. Jack now level 6 and ready to go. Scion also level 6. As Cassidon has been left for pretty much alone.
Yeah, and we saw a a lot of pressure going up towards that top side from both teams towards that top wing. And nothing happening in mid. They're just kind of letting them scale, which I don't love for
Yeah.
CSG. You don't want to let your Kassadin or let the enemy Kassadin scale into a Veigar matchup. It's just
Well,
not going to be a winning matchup for you.
I also really would have loved to see at least a little bit more pressure on that mid lane as well. Maybe just instead of that first gank or second gank, go for the mid lane instead. Specifically because if you look, Scion has the ignite, does not have the teleport. If you force Cassidon to back, that's a huge loss that
Hmm.
you're giving over to that Cassidon. You'd love to force that. Meanwhile, Sean, on the other hand, has that teleport, can just get back into lane very quickly. It's a really nice trade if you do get the Veigar to get that Cassidon back. But now, with the Cassidon having the ultimate ready, I don't really think that's going to happen anytime for the rest of this game.
So now you're in a position as Conquering Sands, right? You
Hmm.
have the Bard. Bard is approaching level 6 relatively soon. When is it going to be time to sick him onto the map and leave Ezreal alone? Is it now?
It's a hard call, actually, specifically as Bard in this scenario, because what are your options here? You go topside, and okay, we're not gonna get anything massive there. You go topside. Ornn has the unstoppable there, so he can just cancel out that ultimate and just be fine as long as his W is up. You go and you hit the Cassidon. He could just ult out because his ult is a very long or a very low cooldown, and just you're giving him time to get that cooldown back. It's really just can you get onto the jungler more than anything, I think, if you're this
Hmm.
Bard.
Yeah, it has to be, right? I mean, what
Even
other
that's
options does
rough
the Bard
because
have?
even that's rough because if you crowd control Volibear while he's on all fours, it resets that cooldown. So he does get that back and get that extra move speed. So it's really hard. Bard does not feel the greatest in this team composition, or sorry, against this team composition.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at it, they picked Bard V1. I mean, they wanted the Bard no matter what. They were confident in their Bard
Oh
play.
no,
Sean
Sean!
Sean flashing forward, trying to get the primordial burst
Who's
out.
tried to get it?
He tried to hit the Q right before it and
Oh,
hit
nice.
2 minions instead. So I thought that was just a dead play after that, but then he kept going. That's a dead Hydra. Yeah. Not even gonna.
It's
Not even
just
gonna.
terror around the map here. Who is this trying to? This is the
Who's
second kill
trying to
he's
get a
trying.
trade
Hold
kill?
on.
He does
Get
get
a
one. Okay.
mage! Shisako kind of trolled his support there. Didn't get him rage for the
Now
Guardian,
your brother
Brock.
is in a position to try and get a trade
No,
kill
no, he's
back,
not.
and now,
He's not.
uh-oh,
Goodbye.
the curtain is getting called. He's in a nefarious position, no pun
Wait, hold
intended.
on.
As now, Cursed Wolf gonna get the stun out, the root coming through, but the subjugate making him very tanky. Doesn't matter. Cursed Wolf gonna pick himself up another one.
Yeah, Sable has to be a little upset about that play though, because Shisako absolutely could have walked a little closer to the Renata, keeping her alive just a little longer thanks to the Guardian. Guardian did not get procced thanks to that range difference. But overall, it just kind of turns out more and more even. Who's trying to get vision on this dragon? Maybe we're going to get a team fight here. I don't think CSG really want to take this one because it is Really, really strong right now for NE.
Sean pops the Predator, gets the
Big
cage down,
stun.
does big damage on the Cursed Wolf, and now gonna get thrown to the side as now he's going to get another kill back, and now the Bartle comes through, but nothing is going to get hit with that. A stun comes through on Disable, but it does not matter as now the Ornhorn behind them coming through, and that's gonna knock up Hydra as now who's gonna get taken very low and taken out by Parvis. Now Parvis gonna get pillared and blocked out. The flash stun from Jack
Jack.
gonna get a kill as well. And now Jack looking for more, looking to finish off Parvis. Does have that Q in just 1 second, does get him, and a double kill over to Jack. So all in all, a bloodbath. Is what we just
A,
saw.
a bloodbath that works out in favor of CSG, though. They came out a kill ahead on that, and they ended up winning that fight a lot because of that Riven and that Vigar hitting the double stun there. The Vigar getting the double stun, getting that damage down to set up that fight, yeah, fell afterwards, but took the Kassadin down in the process. And then the Riven teleport afterwards did a great job at chasing everyone down. It was a great start and a great
Cage
finish.
lands on the Scion, is now Scion going to get taken very low. Sean trying to get the damage back, and now who's going to take that one for himself? The 2-2-1 Bard. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Nah, you're fine. We're just seeing the best absolute options here. Bard getting all the kills. Exactly what I love to see. This is where I want to see it. Here we go. Just give me the dead man's. Give me the rapid fire. I want to see just complete
Hydra,
controls. Curtain
the
call.
curtain
Yeah,
call.
that man's dead.
Bye-bye, Hydra. All right. Bard, 2 kills. Riven, 4 kills. Riven
This
with
is
a
the
finished
Riven
Lore
show.
Drinker.
Yeah, this is right now the Riven show, because you look at Riven not only in terms of the kills but also the CS has matched up really well. Jin, on the other hand, also has the 4 kills, has the Gale Force completed. Sean really needs the backup, and
Scion,
Jack,
can they slow him?
he's
Is
going.
now Jack in the mid lane as well. Gonna get the stun down. The ult comes through. The double ult
Nicely
barely
played.
flips him in the back, as that is another kill going over to this Riven. The Riven
So
show indeed.
yeah, so intelligently played by that too, because if you saw, Jack didn't show himself until they saw the Rift Walk in. It's still not level 11 yet on this Kassadin, so that cooldown is a decent bit in terms of trying to use it multiple times in a fight. It's about 4 or 5 seconds, and that's a long time when you go in and you're not a big tank that's bursting people out yet. So waiting for that Rift Walk in and then going in, Riven has that mobility to close that gap and complete burst damage to take out the Kassadin at the end of that.
So it's really just Jin versus Riven here. As now the pillar comes through, Parvis tries
Oh,
to get the dash in, but is gonna get pillared off. And that should be a dead Ornn here. No, nope, nothing. Yeah,
yeah.
unlucky.
And
And now your
I
mother gets the kill.
I kind of like that being given over to the Trundle as well, because we've seen Riven get so many.
Oh, Trundle gonna get caught out here in the jungle. The subjugate comes through. He gets a
I
little
no
tankier,
longer
but
like it being given to
Scion
the Trundle.
gonna
No
get
longer a
himself
fan
the
of it.
kill.
Yeah, can't
That
go
was
in there.
That's just greedy, right? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. It's extremely greedy. You got to kill on the top side, and you're saying, all right, we can go in. I can take stuff. You still got to deal with the Kassadin. Kassadin that is level 9 right now and is starting to be a bit of a threat. You still have Volibear, who is still in his power phase right now. It's not the time to be looking for an invade. You just take that kill and you get out.
and now Jack is playing
This
in between the towers here.
this is great. Jack loves this because you saw the Kassadin bot side. You saw the Volibear in that area as well. You know there is no world in which Parvis can do anything, and you just gotta dive him and just force him off experience. Keep him from getting those ornaments as long as possible. And Jack is very, very happy to be in this scenario.
Now the engage comes through on Sean. The cage does come through, but he's gonna go ahead and Rift Walk out. As now the pillar comes through as well. The flash and the Everfrost and the Primordial Burst gonna get the kill. As now Jack in a bit of a strange position here. I'm not sure what occurred. We kind of missed it.
Just a
but
gank. It was just a
that
gank.
That was just a big old Volibear stun. As As now the Bartle going to miss. Now
Ooh,
who's gonna get
no.
in
Who's, what
a
are
bit
you
of a
doing,
weird
buddy?
position here. As now Parvis gonna get taken out by your mother, trying to get the kill on the Who's, but just not gonna find it. As now we see the bot lane clearing a ward. Sean said, "I'm gonna ever
Who's,
cross this."
leave, buddy. You're low health and there's a Jhin with a Gale Force. You do not want to be in and around that scenario. We'll get the health from this, from the honey fruit, so we'll be okay. A nice gank on the top side there to shut down that Riven. Really, really helpful, and just a little bit of mistiming there from Jack. It was great to get all of that pressure on the top side, but you've got to recognize when Volibear leaves that mid lane, he's almost assuredly going to be trying to come up top to help against you, because you are beating the crap out of his top laner.
Absolutely. As now we see another dragon gonna go over to Nefarious. So Nefarious now up 2-1 on the dragons. We see the Infernal map. We didn't really do any guessing on the maps. I guess
Guessing's for cowards.
that's more of a moose thing.
If I guess, I could be wrong, and I don't want anyone to tell me I'm wrong.
I don't like being wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. If I never guess, I'm never wrong. So in actuality here, like who's really the loser? Sion gonna just see who's here. He's gonna
Okay,
take a portal for his
let's take a
troubles.
quick second to acknowledge the game state, right? We have
Yes.
about a 2k gold lead for CSV. They're down one dragon. I really think that this is a position that they want to be in. They have a comp that scales fairly well. They have the Ezreal, they have the Veigar. The problem is, I'm not sure if they scale as well as Nefarious
Correct.
does. But
Yeah.
the fact that you're ahead going into this mid game is a good thing.
I
Obviously, it's a great
I
thing.
would love to see a little bit of a more ahead as oh no.
Okay. Yeah.
A little
Um.
unfortunate there. Jin getting another kill and a 200 extra gold shutdown on that one. Yeah, I would love to see a little bit more of a lead. The issue that I do see is pretty much all of this lead has been put on to Riven, and that's not terrible most of the time here, but it will become a problem later and later as
Mhm.
this Cassidon's just gonna get out of control. This Jin's gonna get out
Oh,
of
the
control.
Bardo
Nice
going to
ult.
hit too as now your mother comes in. Does have Subjugate available. Is going to pop it eventually. Does get it. As now Sion's trying to get some Riftwalk damage. Does get one kill. As now he's in the Renata W. Does
Run,
get a
who's?
kill back. As now Who's gets the kill. And now Sean comes in, drops the cape, drops the Everfrost, and now that is a dead Cursed Wolf. Are they going to continue moving forward? It does not appear so. But Jack does want more. And now they're trying to get some more trade damage
Oh.
back. And that's going to be that. That's going to be the end of that. Wait, maybe Jack? Okay, no.
No, no, he's just warding. So if you count the Vigar dying at the beginning of that fight there, that is still technically a win for Nefarious as they did get that extra kill. But overall, just a really interesting fight. They push forward, they get the kill on the Vigar, and they keep chasing forward and have Sion on the other side there. But with that, that means the Bard ult can get put down. Shisako and Sable not able to run away from that very well. They both flash away afterwards to keep it from being a disaster. And thanks to the Renata, it's a nice disengage, which is why this fight ends up going even instead of a lot worse.
Bit of a pickle here. Nope, Sion not going to move forward onto that. Does not see any junglers on the map, so going to leave that one alone. Is now Jack does steal that. Okay, he gets the red. It's going to give
Yeah,
him
and
some
gonna
nice regen.
cut off Parvis here from any more experience. Once again, just keeping this Ornn down as much as possible. Look at Jack. I mean, Jack 13 to Parvis's 11. This Ornn is basically on a poverty build right now as he is waiting and waiting to catch farm as Riven just zones him off.
Yeah, and Riven looks like she's going to be building that Black
Sable.
Cleaver next. Is now Sable going to get stunned up into the pillar. Does hit the root onto your mother, though, as now your mother moving forward. The root comes through from Shizako, as now more damage comes through from Sion, and now they're going to go ahead and Bard Portal out. We do have Dragon spawning in about a minute, so nothing really to fight for in particular here. So it looks like the teams are going to go ahead and back off.
Is we do see the Shirelli is actually picked up on this Bard. Not usually what you see on the Bard, usually the Locket. I don't hate the Shirelias. You are with the Guardian and the heals, you can just kind of speed somebody up. But overall, Bard, not the greatest user of it. The active is probably going to be the big thing to try and just disengage from this Cassidon and this Volibear as they try and run you down. So in that sense, I really do like it, but it's just not as efficient as some other items might be.
How do you feel about the Luden's Tempest on the Cassidon?
I don't hate it because the only tanky person that you're really dealing with, I think, is going to be the Trundle. Riven will be a bit tanky as well, but there's no like hard tank, right? So what
Yeah.
else? I mean, you could go for the Everfrost, but you have an Ornn and a Volibear and a Renata already. You have crowd control. I think just getting a little bit more burst damage to try and take out this Vigar and this Ezreal is going to do a lot of work for them.
All right, and we see the Dragon Dance coming through right now. The Bard ult going to hit 2, as now the Renata ult in response does hit 4 members.
Jack!
And now even more damage comes through as now here comes Hydra. Hydra doing some damage in the back line here as now Jack in the middle of everybody trying to take out Sable. Does get Parvis all alone. Parvis is going to fall as now they go over the wall trying to search for Cursed Wolf. A good stun comes through from Sable. They have the Blast Cone. And now Jack going to pick up that kill. No, Hydra going to get that kill for himself. As now Hydra looking to get back into this game. And Jack chasing down Cursed Wolf. Gets behind the tower. Says, oh wait, I don't want this. And now we're going to see a dragon take.
Yeah, a nice dragon pickup. And Jack completely turned that fight. It was going all right for either team, but Jack getting over the wall, immediately getting onto the Jhin and ruining any opportunity for this really fed Jhin to do anything. And also with that Goredrinker, keeping himself healthy throughout all of it. Really nice play by Jack to get in that backline and disrupt what this Jhin wants to do, because that is where a lot of this gold is put at. Now, the Cassidon starting to get online as well, is level 11 now, does have 5 kills, which is a lot for a Cassidon that did not really, it doesn't feel like a Cassidon that has gotten 5 kills, I think is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And Sion now will really start to become a problem, and this Ezreal is going to need protection. This Vigar is going to need protection, and there's not a lot of inherent peel for this team. You pretty much only got the Bard ult, and that's kind of a double-edged sword.
Agreed. And it's really hard for him to hit those targets with the Bard ult.
Exactly.
Anyway.
If it's a dive, it's easier. But if it's
Yeah.
not, it's so much harder. That's why we've pretty much seen them only be going on to just the Jhin and the Renata consistently to try and disrupt that. One of the other things that you can do as well, and I'm sure a lot of people know this, but just holding your Bard ult to stop the curtain call every single time. Do not let Jhin use his ultimate without you burning yours.
And now Jack gonna get this nice long lane to chase down Parvis.
And look at top. They're on Baron right now.
And now Curse gonna get his ult out.
What?
We're looking at 2 different fights right now.
What?
And now who's trying to get himself in? And now Hydra. Here comes the Renata ult, who is going to hit Hydra, but he plunges out.
Sion,
Now
exhausted.
Sion on the backside is the curtain call actually picks up who's through 3 people, and now they're gonna have to back out of this. But they do get a big advantage over here on the bot side, is now they're gonna have to send some people to answer Jack once that wave crashes. They're gonna look over onto this Baron, and Sion is in position to do something major here. They don't have a lot of peel to deal with this Cassidon. This Cassidon come in on
He's charging up.
And now here comes the Cage. The Cage does get burned early. That's not a good thing if you are this Veigar. Veigar trying to get himself that blue buff to get some mana regen and a little bit of cooldown. And now, here comes your mother. Hydra trying to get some ulties. Saying "here comes your mother" is just way too funny, by the way.
Oh my god. It was
Who killed
just
him? Your mother.
the phrasing. I mean, like, it was just how seriously that was said, I think, that got me.
Here comes your mother.
Yeah. Here comes your mother. It just, yeah. Yeah, and we kind of saw at the end of that fight too. Just they used the Bard ult to start off that fight and did not wait for it to stop the Jhin. The curtain call was massive there. It's what allowed them to trade to get that Bard down at the end of the day. And there's not any other option to stop it other than that tempered
Bartle
fate as
comes
we get
through
another
onto
one.
Sable, and now Sable gonna get stunned up, but on the backside, Hydra gets rooted. Hydra is going to fall here. That's going to be a kill going over to Shu, but
Sion
now
dies though.
Sean gets a trade kill onto Sion, and Jack in the mid lane trying to chase down Shu. Shu trying to get away, and now Jack gonna get CC'd out here, but does have the shield available, and now the Everfrost comes through on the Cursed Wolf. Renata ults
Oh
this
no.
everybody, and now Sean all alone down here, as Who's is also very, very low.
Who's gonna get away? The
They're gonna try and get
Kassadin
this mid
not
tower,
available.
it looks like. Oh, nope, they're gonna turn right back onto the Baron. They're gonna go for the Baron themselves.
Yeah, they took out the Kassadin, but the Kassadin isn't the major consistent damage threat in these fights. It is all on this Jhin right now. So they need to keep that pressure on Jhin. When they use these tempered fates like that, it's hurting
Oh,
them
the
in the long
stun
run.
lands on
Stop!
the Shu. He's gonna get Dark Mattered. He's very, very
To
low.
disengage
And
this.
now your mother comes in, and the pillar gonna hit two people back
Nice
out,
ult.
and he's gonna flash forward kill. Oh my goodness.
Sion!
And now Sion on the backside goes on to Who's going to fall after a flash rift walk. And now Parvis on the backside going to get taken out by Jack. And now in the meantime, Sion doesn't
No
have any mana
mana.
left. Has to hit a W, is going to do so as now Jack chasing down Sable under her tower. And yeah, that's gonna be that. That's gonna be Baron going over to CSG. And man, Jack is really playing well on this Riven.
Jack is playing great. I want to give a lot of credit to Sean for that stun because that is what started that fight off entirely. Getting Shisaka low and forcing him out of that fight, forcing him to back away was the go button for your mother to use that subjugate and then chase them down afterwards. They're going to also get this dragon, I believe. They're going to see a little bit of a contest, but Sion not going to be able to get there, and it's going to be a 5v4 if they've tried to fight it.
It looks like it's gonna get burned down very fast. Now Cursed Wolf has to flash out.
Don't use it like that. Oh. My Bard senses are just going nuts right now. I'm seeing the tempered fate being used on the Volibear right in front of you. That's not the person you need to engage on right now. If I'm looking at this game, it's been true throughout the entire game, but it's been even more true now. To get this Jhin out of a fight, you need to use the tempered fate on him every single fight and make sure that he does not contribute. When you're using it for these engages, you have other opportunities to engage. We've seen other ways that this team has engaged. We've seen the Riven fly in. We've seen the Trundle Pillar do some work. We've seen the Vigar stun work as well. You need that tempered fate to stop Jhin if he tries to set himself up.
Yeah, Jhin really being the only one on that team that's going to do a lot of damage to you. Kassadin does have that Lichbane finish, but I'm not sure if that's quite enough to be doing serious damage to the backline quite yet. As if we look across the board on these gold leads, there's a 7,000 gold lead in the top lane.
Yeah?
And Jhin is up about 2,000 gold on Ezreal. So that's where your lead is. That's where your quote-unquote lead is. Is now Jack.
Oh, this is so
down by
not
Sion,
good.
But Sion, you don't
They
want
got
this, man.
nothing.
The tempered fate comes through onto
Good.
Sion, and now that's
Good.
dead Kassadin. A nice stun coming through from Who's. As now another kill going to go onto the Jhin here just a second. As he's not getting away. And Parvis all alone under that tower. That 4-4 man. Parvis, I feel for you, homie. It's been a rough game for you. As now Cursed Wolf, yeah, what's gonna happen there is they take out the first Nexus tower. The TP comes through from Jack.
That's
now
a weird TP.
Oh my goodness, Sable actually killed Hoot there. As yeah, I'm not sure what that TP was, but that should be a game.
We can't critique it. It worked. Yeah, as the GGs come through, game one gonna go to CSQ, and honestly, I once we saw the focus go on to that Jin and make sure that he got punished for any kind of aggression, that was when we saw the success. And also just Jack hitting these team fights 13 1 and 5 on this Riven. Absolutely incredible play. And that last fight, I think, just kind of encapsulated what this game became. Just they tried to chase down that Riven. They forced so much onto her and got nothing out of it. And that was just the easy turnaround. Nice tempered fate to get the flash from the Jin. Nice stun to get the Cassidon in place for Riven to finish it off. Overall, incredible stuff from CSQ at the end of that game.
Yeah, and CSG gonna be looking really confident going into this second game. As we're gonna take a quick break and get everything set up for you guys for the next games, and we will be right back with some more action. Hello and welcome everybody to Game 2 of Style Esports Season 12, Conquering Sands Gaming versus Nefarious Esports. I am Sue, joined by Thousand Eyes. Thousand Eyes, we saw a banger of a Riven game last game from Jack. We saw some really good uh, gameplay from Shuzako on his Jin. What kind of adjustments do you think we'll see in this draft?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is they've got to figure out something with this top lane. It would feel absolutely awful to just put all three of your bans on the top side, but Parvis struggled a lot in that top side and did not seem to be very comfortable. You'd think Ornn generally is one of those champs that you do kind of just wait and just bide your time. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make that happen. I think some of that was just misplays that can be fixed from one game to the next. You know, it just snowballed out of control. But on the other hand, I think there may just need to be, this might be Malphite duty. It might just be like super straightforward, like just don't do anything for the first couple of minutes. And then we get to team fights and you just do your team fight thing.
Yeah, and it sounds like such a terrible way to play the game. It's
Oh,
always
it
like
is.
it's
It
it's never
absolutely
fun.
is.
It's never fun. But sometimes it is what you have to do. And I'm not sure what Jack's gonna pick now that those three champions have been banned out of his pool.
Oh,
But we
it
do
didn't.
see Cog Lulu getting locked in for CSG's bot lane here, and that is a fun lane to watch.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, as we do have to reset the score, when we swap sides, it breaks the score. I don't know why, but it does. Um, Conquering Sands, the Cog Lulu, it gets online a lot faster than I think people realize. I think people underestimate Cog and say, well, oh, he's a late game carry. He's not going to do damage until late. We don't need to worry about him until late. We could shut him down early. Cog gets a couple levels at his W and he starts to really hurt.
Yeah,
Like,
he
even in
rips.
lane, he can trade extremely well if you're a champion that does rely on cooldowns, and he could just run you down afterwards with that Lulu as well. I'm surprised here to see it a little bit because it does feel like it requires a team comp to be built around it, and you're very much showing your hand. But at the other hand, I'm excited to see it because I think there's a lot. I think it's a lot more powerful than people give it credit for. The missed pick was a pike pick this time
Yeah,
around. I
yeah.
love this. This is
I
exactly
love
my champ
Pike.
pool. This is exactly my champ pool when I play support. When I am not on Nami or Alistar duty, I'm playing Bard and Pike. And I am excited to see this. I think it's great to pick into something like the Kog'Maw Lulu. They don't have many answers for it. And it's gonna do a lot of work with some gank setup as well from the Volibear. Not gonna be fought against a Vigar though.
Yeah, not the best. I'm the resident Vagar main of Style Esports casting booth, and yeah, that's not a fun matchup for Pike. Um, there's not a lot Pike can do into a Vagar. Uh, but you know, it's one of those things when you have counter. They banned a couple of okay matchups into Vagar with the Swain Vex bans. But they have counter pick, so even though that Pike doesn't feel that great, you can get some really good picks. Something like a Zed or a Fizz would be kind of spicy. I'd love to see that. But that's just me being optimistic on some high fee drafts. Jarvan gonna get locked in though. We don't see a ton of Jarvan anymore.
Yeah, this is definitely, I think, going to be the powerhouse that Conquering Sands have in the early game. Generally, when you have a composition like this, you don't want to just put everything on the late game because you need some kind of movement in the early game to actually put on pressure. Jarvan is going to be the vehicle for that. He's going to push the team forward. He's going to be able to gank. You look at Vigar, Kog'Maw, these are lanes that generally end up getting pushed in and have to play very safe. Jarvan can take advantage of that really, really well. Vel'Koz picked here, Mordekaiser as well. You take away
Jax,
Oh no. I'll
Jax.
be I'm gonna be really surprised here. I'm
Jax!
so Mordekaiser Jax is pretty much a skill matchup, but one that I think Jax has a little bit more advantage in, specifically because the Counter Strike dodges out on that auto attack, and Mord has to hit an auto in order to get his passive going. If he doesn't get that, what else can he use? Because he has to hit three abilities in order to hit that, or three damaging abilities, I guess, in order to get that passive going. His W doesn't do damage, his ult doesn't do damage, so he has to hit a QE ult or QE auto, and Jax can stunt that really hard. And considering how rough of a lane we saw topside for Parvis, I'm a little concerned to see him going from a tank not doing well and pushing him onto a bruiser instead.
Yeah, and we saw that matchup the first game, which is very much Riven favored. I've played a lot of Mordekaiser in my day, and playing against Jax, yeah, it's a skill matchup, so to speak, because you're just really trying to poke with your Q, you're trying to keep distance, you're trying to tether him. Um, but at the same time, it's not fun. It's not a fun matchup. If Jax even gets a semblance of a lead, it's completely unplayable for Mordekaiser. So expect to see Jarvan up there early. Expect to see Jarvan trying to push this Mordekaiser out of his lane and give Jax any kind of advantage possible.
Oh my goodness, and the sides are broken once again. I really got to talk. I really got to talk with Inti about this. We will fix that here in just a sec. Um, Overall, yeah, it's just a bit of a rough matchup there on the top side. But once again, we do have the Jarvan. I think obviously Jax Mordekaiser. Jax can get a solid lead there. Maybe doesn't need the Jarvan intervention. But look at Vigar, you look at Cogball. There's definitely opportunities there if you want to take them. I think the question then is, can they? Because if you don't make something happen with this Jarvan, he one falls off really hard when you get into the mid to late game, and two, he's you have two losing lanes. Then you have the Bel'Kaz that is going to push in this Vigar pretty hard, and you have the Ezreal and Pyke, which Pyke can be a nuisance across the map in and of himself.
Yeah, and ganking that lane is going to be incredibly difficult. You have two of the squirreliest bot lane champions in the game. So throwing ganks down towards bot side could be okay if you're looking to like have a counter for their engage, but I don't think they're gonna be looking to hard engage a ton unless their jungler is there, and even if that's the case, I don't think they win the 3v3. So it's a little bit hard for Jarvan to play towards bot side here, I think.
It's a little bit hard, yeah, because there's just not the setup. There's not the damage in the early game. I think you're probably looking for mid game is where you'd like to show up on that bot side. Once Kog'Maw does start to do a little bit of damage, but that might be too late. It might be too far behind because Pyke is such a problem if he gets going. Now, he does have to get going. Lulu can stop him pretty well. Any kind of ability that gives health back can really hurt Pyke when he tries to go for his ult. You have to predict for some of those damages in order to be able to get them down underneath that actual execute range. And if you're not predicting that correctly, you can really hurt yourself in team fights and not get those resets going.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things too when I think I've touched on this a little bit before. When you have Lulu R against Pyke, um you're giving them max HP. So
Yes,
you're not actually giving them
it's not a heal.
it's not a heal. So when you Lulu ult a Pyke R, um you
Grievous wounds
you're
does not affect. Like, yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah, exactly. So it's it's a really weird interaction, but you can Lulu ult a Pyke and like it's pretty good. So that's okay. Um I just I don't know what this Volibear is going to do. I want this Volibear to play towards bot side.
Yeah.
I want him to play towards this Pyke, get Pyke a lead, and then Pyke just run around the map and dominate. That's what I want to see from him.
Yeah, I think there's two real opportunities here. One, Volibear will farm pretty solidly against Jarvan. I think a little bit better than Jarvan, if I remember correctly. We'll have to double check on that. But I think really you're looking for, if you're gonna gank early game, you're probably going bot side. I don't think you really want to deal with top too much because Jax can kind of stomp on you a little bit as well. But level 6 points, I'm looking for a dive mid lane because Vel'Koz, you dive, you turn off the tower. Vel'Koz does not need to worry about that cage too much and can just lay down fire as Volibear dives in.
Yeah, I think that's it. I would have to agree with that. But we are going to cut to a short spectator delay. We will be right back with game 2 of this series. Don't go anywhere, guys.